Meet an MEP from the party freaking out Europe.
Good to see you. My first question, how do you say the name of your party?
Syriza. Let's go.
However you say it, Dimitrios Papadimoulis' party is marching towards victory in next week's snap elections in Greece. They're very left-wing, offering things like higher pensions and free electricity for the poor. Their trademark is opposition to the austerity policies imposed by Brussels that have led to riots in the streets. And that 270 billion euros they've been loaned by the EU, the IMF and the European Central Bank, they don't fancy paying it back.
The vote for Syriza is not only a vote anti-austerity for the growth of the economy, for reducing the unemployment and the poverty. It's only a vote for democracy, for becoming Greece a respectful member of the European Union and not remaining for decades as a dead colony of Germany.
That doesn't go down well with the German MEP Markus Ferber, who's a member of Chancellor Angela Merkel's Bavarian sister party.
I think what is really needed in Greece is a continuation of the reforms, especially tax reform, administration reform has been started but not yet finalized. And if you stop this reform agenda or even withdraw everything and go back to the so-called good old times, I think Greece will not afford it. Investors will not pay for it, and that will create a big mess.
But Chancellor Merkel's facing pressure at home from the rise of a Eurosceptic party called Alternative for Deutschland, who've got their own radical suggestion.
Actually, the money is already lost. I mean, we just have to realize that it is lost, right? And then we should say, okay, forget about what we can't pay back, but in exchange for our giving you in on debt relief, you have to leave the Eurozone.
Not as crazy as it sounds. Angela Merkel's people have hinted she's okay with the idea of kissing Greece goodbye, something unthinkable a few years ago. Syriza's smiley leader, Alexis Tsipras, is inspiring left-wing movements in other crisis-hit countries, though, like Spain. And in Italy, there's even a new party named after him.
It's since the Thatcher year we hear this slogan, there is no alternative. He represents the alternative. So I cannot do other things than hope that he will succeed.
For now, our MEP is touring the studios of Strasbourg on a mission to reassure. He says Syriza wants to compromise, not to spark another crisis in the Eurozone.
And we'll try to have the best possible results, creating alliances, not only in Greece, but also in the European level.
There isn't the same air of crisis in Strasbourg there was during previous episodes of the Greek saga, but European hearts will flutter if Greeks vote seriously against austerity next Sunday.
Adam Fleming reporting. Well, Ashley, I don't know if your heart is fluttering at the thought of Syriza topping the poll. Do you think they will?
The opinion polls say they will, but I really don't know. But whether Greece stays in the euro or not is entirely a matter for the Greek people and their government, and is not something that we should interfere with.
What do you think? I mean, Alexis Tsipras, Syriza's leader, says he doesn't want to leave the euro. He just wants to cancel the bailout and renegotiate a new deal for Greece with more favourable terms and conditions, because we've had endless Greek politicians on the programme saying it's just driving the economy and people into the ground. What's wrong with that?
Well, at the moment, he wants to have his cake and eat it. He wants to stay in the eurozone, and he wants debt forgiveness. That's not something at the moment that the Germans are prepared to tolerate.
Right.
Be grateful, though, that whatever happens, Britain is not part of the Euro bailout fund. Be grateful to David Cameron that he got us out of that bailout.
Are you grateful to David Cameron for being out of the bailout? I mean, in your mind, Margot, is the Germans are going to continue to be hardline about it. Are they right?
I don't think they are. I think the Greek people have had austerity rammed down their throat. I think they've had enough. I mean, it's the highest youth unemployment, highest suicide rate. It's awful. It's a shame. Europe should hang its head in shame over Greece. It's dreadful.
Right, but do you think then that they should be able to write off the debt? If Syriza wins on the 25th, do you think that the rest of the Eurozone and the EU should say, yes, those debts will be written off and Greece can stay in the euro?
No, I don't think that's anything to do with us at all. I think that is down to those people that actually put those loans in. They have to come to some agreement. They've got to be able to facilitate and help Greece to return to some normality. Possibly if they left the euro, they'd be able to actually bring their economy back in a much more stable way. But again, it's, you know, cake and eating it.
What will be interesting, though, Ashley, which the implications for here, is if Syriza wins, and you look at Podemos, similar party in Spain, are you worried about the rise of what people say anti-austerity populist parties in the rest of Europe, including UKIP?
No, I'm not worried with the peoples of Europe expressing their democratic choice. That is not a problem, and we need to respect that choice. From the point of view of the United Kingdom, what we want to avoid is a disorderly breakup of the euro, because that will cause chaos in Euroland and it will cause problem to the Eurozone economies. What we want is either Greece to stay in or, more likely, for them to leave in an orderly fashion.
Well, that's more likely now. I mean, I think the reason that Angela Merkel is reported to be more relaxed about the idea of a Grexit is that she feels that conditions have been put in place so that it won't be as disorderly.
Yes.
So let's say Greece does pull out of the euro.
Yes.
And there is, though, some sort of instability for a while. Will that help or hinder David Cameron in the run-up to the election?
If it happened before May, I'd have thought any sort of instability would be unwelcome. I mean, the British economy is still in a recovery phase. Things are difficult and dangerous, but we're doing pretty well at the moment in contrast to our European partners. We don't want anything to disturb that, and that's why if Greece is to leave the Eurozone, it must be done in an orderly manner.
All right, let's leave it there.